Hello everyone and welcome back to another Black Desert video. So today I want to talk about something I thought was interesting. Things that are worth enhancing versus buying. And the reason why I wanted to talk about it is because some items are actually weirdly priced and it's probably worth making it yourself over buying it. And a few other items, they just don't sit on the market, so it's like you have to make it. So we'll talk about all of that. I'll talk about how you can go about doing it. And yeah, let's start off with Fallen God. Now, not all of them are worth, making. But if you were to do it, I think from try to tet, it's definitely worth trying to self-enhance it simply because the price of this is actually kind of insane. And back in the day, when black stars were roughly around like 150 up to 200 mil, this would probably have been like something on the side, but now that a tet fallen god armor, it doesn't matter which one actually, just literally any of the four, it's worth making it yourself just because of the price. And I go over this in some other videos. I'm going window shopping series, but let's just go over the stacks in case you try to enhance it yourself from base. All right, so base to tet, 80 to probably 100 stack, right? Then tet, or not tet, pry to duo, I use like a 110 to 130. Duo to try is probably 150 to maybe close to 200. And then from try to tet, I personally have used between a 245 and 270 on every single piece. I think the hardest one for me was probably the gloves, but all my pieces are tet. And just because of the price of this, I think on average, most people should be able to get tet cheaper than it costs to make, assuming you're cronstoning it and average RNG and a decent fail stack. So yeah, this is number one. The next thing I think that is worth enhancing over buying it, also because they're more or less new, is Preonne Accessories. Now, for all of you life skillers out here, if you have a try Preonne or try Manos, you could turn it into a base Preonne, and if you have a tet, you turn it into a try, and I believe if you have pen, it turns into oct. So yeah, with the prices of this currently and the item not being generally available, if you were to watch this like a year from now, this might be different. But at the current time, if you are seriously pushing life skills, these are worth getting, but also they aren't sitting on the market, and you basically cron every step past duo, and it's one of those things you kind of have to make. But also, when you look at the prices of it, you're just like, it's kind of crazy. So I would honestly say that, like, if you are already sitting at around 2,000 to 2,400 mastery, I think you're doing fine. Pushing past 2,500, even if you're full buffed, obviously more is better, but the diminishing returns for the amount you spend on life skilling, it's gonna take a long time to pay itself back. So yeah, like even if you were to stop at like Hex, I think most people will be fine. Even at Pen, most people will be fine. So in my opinion, when should you stop and when should you keep pushing is basically when you hit a new bracket. The next time you should push is when you can reach the new bracket, and each one is plus 50. So like if going from, for example, Pen to Hex only gives you another 15, but nothing else happens after that, and that doesn't even push you into a new bracket, it's better to just save and then wait till you can, go forward even further. And just because the price of this gets significantly more expensive, and yeah, it's just kind of crazy. So I think, in my opinion, between 2,000 to 2,500 is where most people are at the end game. And, just pushing further, just know it's a huge sink of silver. The next thing I want to talk about is Manos tools. Now, we're talking about averages here, and some prices of these are kind of crazy, some aren't. But if you look at, like, for example, a Manos tool, some of them, they're kind of going up in price. And so from Tet to Pen, it's about 540 something, 549, I believe, cronstones. So if you were to calculate, assuming the worst, it would cost you roughly around 40 something billion. So you're thinking, oh, I should just buy it, right? But with the amount of fail stacks they kind of just give you for free in the game these days, I think most people should be able to get like a 150 for free. And if you're making the fail stack, it's a little bit different. But like, you know, if they just give it away for free, which they are, then you should use it on something. And most of the time, when it comes to the tools, generally you can find them on the market. However, with the newer ones these days, for example, like the ladle, hunting bag, and like the fishing chair, well, not that fishing chair, the Manos fishing chair, you can probably get it, but I think on average at max price, most people should be able to get it for cheaper, assuming averages, you're using a decent stack and you're cronstoning every attempt. So that's just my opinion. I think most people will break even or get it for cheaper. The next thing I want to talk about is a little bit of a tricky one because it's also really for only the end game players, is alchemy stones. So, as we all know, Vel's Heart is the go-to for most people, myself included, because I can't get a Splendid. But if you're getting to the point where you want to actually try to unironically push for a Splendid, basically you put an order on a Resplendent and hope to get it, and that takes literally years. And then you basically refuel it, and it's a 3% chance. It's a flat 3% chance every single time. So, yeah. Hope for the best. That's something you have to enhance. These don't really sell. And I hope Pearl Abyss one day remembers that alchemy stones in the game exist. So maybe they'll make something, you know, competitive with Splendid for all of the people who are looking to push past, you know, Vel's Heart. But everyone else, if you're looking for Vels, you know, just put an order on it. Go to Vel every week. And if your guild does con, I personally, like, you know how you can only get one to destruction or the life one or the defense? I think either life or destruction. Honestly, I would just get the one that's, you know, more silver, so you don't have to buy it. And that in this case would probably be the life stone. But yeah, let's talk about life stones as well while we're at it, because there's actually a few different options that people could choose. So what I do, I use the Khan's Heart Life, the Trent's Tier, and a Resplendent. Now, keep in mind, this one people might not have, but at least two of these. I personally use the Trent's Tier a lot more, simply because I value Life XP very highly, but also if the plus 25 Mastery doesn't push me up into a new bracket for whatever I'm doing, then it's really minimal use, and like you don't get anything out of it. So aside from that, if I'm gathering, I'll be using Resplendent just because gathering item drop rate is worth a lot to me. But I think for most people, especially for all of you beginners out there, life levels actually do, like, I think they're worth a lot, because at a certain point, I believe it's is it after master? At a certain point, every level gives you +5 permanent mastery. And basically, like, permanent mastery is just always good. So, yeah, don't underestimate just raw life XP. I'm not sure how to get it these days. So when I got it a couple of years ago, it was through Fugar, right? And I think it was through a seasonal reward, but then they probably turned it into some sort of quest nowadays, but I don't know which one. But if you can have both of them, I think they're both good to have, depending on what you're doing. And even if you don't, and you only have a Stella Stone because you played through seasons a lot, a plus 100 mastery is very solid. I wouldn't recommend keeping this on all the time, because one thing that people don't actually know how to value is 100 mastery. So, you know, these secret books But first of all, these stack, so like you can have plus 200, and then this one gives another 100. At the end game, when people consider mastery and profits, 100 mastery is 2 brackets, so that's, you know, actually a lot. So I wouldn't, you know, use these randomly. Instead, use something that you can repair more often. And these are just kind of like for special pushes and whatever you're doing. But just know that 100 mastery is a lot. And if you calculate profits later on, it's something worth doing. Next thing I want to talk about is, where is it? Is this under? Yeah, matchlocks. Okay, so this one is kind of funny. One, if you were to try to buy a plus 10 and you can, that's good. You should buy it. However, if you're the kind of person that likes instant gratification and you buy a plus 9 to plus 10, basically what you do is force it. And believe it or not, matchlocks and sniper rifles, you can basically force it all the way to plus 10. All you have to do is repair it, which, you know, minimal cost actually. But yeah, like this, if you can buy it, obviously always better. But especially when it comes to like sniper rifles, which I think is more money than regular hunting these days. And I'm in the process of working on a video for that, but I'm just making sure the information is accurate, and I'm doing a little bit more testing so I can be aware of how things actually work. So yeah, one of those things, if you just want to start doing hunting now, obviously you probably want to go for the best thing as soon as possible. What you should do is probably plus 9 and force it to 10. But if you can buy it, and let's say on your server these just sit on the market at plus 10, just buy it at plus 10. So yeah, depending on the price, it might actually be cheaper to just buy it at minimum and force it, depending on how much the purple crystals are. Actually, what are they called? Let me look that up. Where are these crystals? Did they? I don't even know where they are, but like the things to upgrade to god or weapons, the sun purple crystals. And the last thing I want to talk about is certain accessories that I think are worth enhancing over, you know, buying. And I've been sort of keeping up with certain accessories, right? For various reasons. One, they will melt down for a lot of Essence of Dawns, which is always important. And also some things that, like, if you grind something, for example, like a Dawn earring, these kind of sell for a lot. So if you were going for a pen, you obviously want to hit the thing that gives you the most profit out of it. And probably enhancing this would be the way to go for all of that. When it comes to Debarekas, it's a little bit different because the value is, you know, a little bit higher on the scale. But when it comes to Essence of Dawn melting, usually some Essence of Dawn accessories are worth more than others, and I think it can actually give you a realistic thing. So this item right here, the Dawn's Aura, it tells you what accessory to melt and how many Essence of Dawns you get out of it. So if you look at it, the River Necklace is, you know, high up there in price. Ocean Haze, where is it? Dawn Earrings, Ominous maybe, and Distortions. Everything else is probably kind of sus and you shouldn't really mess with it. But when you're coming, you're just trying to enhance stuff, I would say that Distos, if you're enhancing it to Tet, then you should probably do that, whether you're selling it or not. Just because Tet is, you know, roughly 1 in 3. And with the prices of things these days, I think on average, most people should be able to get it cheaper. And the price kind of swings a lot. So this kind of goes up to breaking even, and sometimes it doesn't. So you just have to keep in mind that Distos are a very used accessory right now. Even for people who don't have full Karazad, If you're at Pen Disto, it does give more AP than a Nav, but you know, it's a trade-off we talked about in a little other video that we did. So yeah, you want to enhance the accessories that are worth a lot and or give some sort of value, whether it's Essence of Dawn, usage, or just sell for a lot. But yeah, those are the items that I wanted to talk about that I think are worth enhancing. It really ultimately depends on the market on your server, but here, at least on NA, that is what I would talk about. So with that said, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys have a fantastic day. If you're new to your channel, hit that subscribe button. Love to see you come back. And we got some videos to upload in the future. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.